We have grown literally afraid to be poor. We despise anyone who elects to be poor in order to simplify and save his inner life. If he does not join the general scramble and pant with the money-making street, we deem him spiritless and lacking in ambition. All of our life is but a mass of small habits, practical, emotional, intellectual, and spiritual, that bear us irresistibly toward our destiny. Common sense and a sense of humor are the same thing, moving at different speeds. A sense of humor is just common sense dancing. The greatest revolution of our generation is the discovery that human beings, by changing the inner attitudes of their minds, can change the outer aspects of their lives. Most unhappiness is caused because people listen to themselves instead of talking to themselves. The greatest weapon against stress is our ability to choose one thought over another. Thoughts become perception, perception becomes reality. Alter your thoughts, alter your reality. A great many people think they're thinking when they're merely rearranging their prejudices. Once a decision is reached, stop worrying and start working. There is a law in psychology that if you form a picture in your mind of what you would like to be, and you keep and hold that picture there long enough, you will soon become exactly as you have been thinking. Believe that life is worth living, and your belief will help create the fact. The art of being wise is the art of knowing what to overlook. The deepest principle in human nature is the craving to be appreciated. The world we see that seems so insane is the result of a belief system that is not working. To perceive the world differently, we must be willing to change our belief system, let the past slip away, expand our sense of now, and dissolve the fear in our minds. If you can change your mind, you can change your life. A winner's attitude, it may be difficult, but it's possible. A loser's attitude, it may be possible, but it's too difficult. Your hopes, dreams, and aspirations are legitimate. They are trying to take you airborne, above the clouds, above the storms, if you only let them. Man lives in only one small room of the enormous house of his consciousness. There is nothing so absurd that it cannot be believed as truth if repeated often enough. Circumstance does not make me, it reveals me. You may not get everything you dream about, but you will never get anything you don't dream about. Give up the feeling of responsibility. Let go your hold, resign the care of your destiny to higher powers, be genuinely indifferent as to what becomes of it all, and you will find not only that you gain a perfect inward relief, but often also, in addition, the particular goods you sincerely thought you were renouncing. The great thing, then, in all education, is to make our nervous system our ally instead of our enemy. Do something every day for no other reason than you would rather not do it, so that when the hour of dire need draws nigh, it may find you not unnerved and untrained to stand the test. Whenever two people meet, there are really 6 people present. There is each man as he sees himself, each man as the other person sees him, and each man as he really is. Act as if what you do makes a difference. It does. The mind is made up by what it feeds upon. Of all the beautiful truths pertaining to the soul, none is more gladdening or fruitful than to know you can regenerate and make yourself what you will. Anything you may hold firmly in your imagination can be yours. Positive images of the future are a powerful and magnetic force. They draw us on and energize us, give us courage and will to take on important initiatives. Negative images of the future also have a magnetism. They pull the spirit downward in the path of despair. The greatest weapon we have to combat stress is the ability to choose our thoughts. The great use of life is to spend it for something that will outlast it. Give your dreams all you've got, and you'll be amazed at the energy that comes out of you. The greatest discovery of the 20th century is that our attitude of mind determines our quality of life, not circumstances. Acceptance of what has happened is the first step to overcoming the consequences of any misfortune. If you believe that feeling bad or worrying long enough will change a past or future event, then you are residing on another planet with a different reality system. There is but one cause of human failure, and that is man's lack of faith in his true self. In order to disprove the assertion that all crows are black, one white crow is sufficient. Tension is a habit. Relaxing is a habit. Bad habits can be broken, good habits formed. We forget that every good that is worth possessing must be paid for in strokes of daily effort. We postpone and postpone until those smiling possibilities are dead. By neglecting the necessary concrete labor, by sparing ourselves the little daily tax, we are positively digging the graves of our higher possibilities. Just for today, I will exercise my soul in 3 ways. I will do somebody a good turn and not get found out. I will do at least 2 things I don't want to do. Success or failure depends more upon attitude than upon capacity. Successful men act as though they have accomplished or are enjoying something. Soon it becomes a reality. Act, look, feel successful, conduct yourself accordingly, and you will be amazed at the positive results. You can be an artist without visual images, a reader without eyes, a mass of erudition with a bad memory. In almost any subject, your passion for the subject will save you. If you only care enough for a result, you will almost certainly attain it. If you wish to be rich, you will be rich. If you wish to be learned, you will be learned. If you wish to be good, you will be good. Only you must, then, really wish these things, and wish them with exclusiveness, and not wish at the same time 100 other incompatible things just as strongly. Life is one long struggle between conclusions based on abstract ways of conceiving cases, and opposite conclusions prompted by our instinctive perception of them. Actions seems to follow feeling, but really actions and feeling go together, and by regulating the action, which is under the more direct control of the will, we can indirectly regulate the feeling, which is not. Thus the sovereign voluntary path to cheerfulness, if our cheerfulness be lost, is to sit up cheerfully and to act and speak as if cheerfulness were already there. Seek out that particular mental attribute which makes you feel most deeply and vitally alive, along with which comes the inner voice which says, "This is the real me," and when you have found that attitude, follow it. The transition from tenseness, self-responsibility, and worry, to equanimity, receptivity, and peace, is the most wonderful of all those shiftings of inner equilibrium, those changes of personal center of energy, which I have analyzed so often, and the chief wonder of it is that it so often comes about, not by doing, but by simply relaxing and throwing the burden down. Beyond the very extreme of fatigue and distress, we may find amounts of ease and power we never dreamed ourselves to own, sources of strength never taxed at all because we never pushed through the obstruction. Most people live, whether physically, intellectually, or morally, in a very restricted circle of their potential being. They make very small use of their possible consciousness, and of their soul's resources in general, much like a man who, out of his whole bodily organism, should get into a habit of using and moving only his little finger. The further limits of our being plunge, it seems to me, into an altogether other dimension of existence from the sensible and merely understandable world. Name it the mystical region, or the supernatural region, whichever you choose. So far as our ideal impulses originate in this region, and most of them do originate in it, for we find them possessing us in a way for which we cannot articulately account, we belong to it in a more intimate sense than that in which we belong to the visible world, for we belong in the most intimate sense wherever. The attitude of unhappiness is not only painful, it is mean and ugly. What can be more base and unworthy than the pining, puling, mumping mood, no matter by what outward ills it may have been engendered? What is more injurious to others? What less helpful as a way out of the difficulty? It but fastens and perpetuates the trouble which occasioned it, and increases the total evil of the situation. At all costs, then, we ought to reduce the sway of that mood, we ought to scout it in ourselves and others, and never show it tolerance. Could the young but realize how soon they will become mere walking bundles of habits, they would give more heed to their conduct while in the plastic state.